be playing some music today, but I want you guys to be aware that we will also be having some conversations, some important conversations that we need to have with each other. So just get comfortable. I hope you guys are having a decent Sunday so far. Those of you on Instagram, you can find the full production over at YouTube. We are going to be talking a lot about George Floyd today. It's going to be an uncomfortable Sweet Side show, but it will be a necessary one and a very important one. So please, if you guys have the time to stay tuned in for the full show today, I really encourage you to do so. I'm going to have my friend Amber Navrin come on and talk with us. We will play some music for you guys and hopefully bring some positivity to you, but we really do have to focus and speak out about what's going on in our country right now, and I feel like it's my responsibility and all of our responsibility here to bring awareness on whatever platform we have access to, and right now that is the Sweet Side show for me, and I want to talk with you guys about what's going on. I want to talk about how we can help, how we can just contribute in any way. So stay tuned. We'll have some resources for you guys after the show. We've got Adam Bravo on the keys today. We got Sam Bronner on the drums. And then we got my homie Kyle Barnett on the guitar joining us today. Obviously quarantined, away from us. He's still here with us, but just in a different room, so we're safe. And yeah. Guys for tuning in. So I asked you guys throughout the week what songs you wanted to hear and all that kind of stuff, and originally the point of today was to continue sharing my upcoming album that's unreleased and to bring awareness to my music and just to play music with my friends. Today we will do a lot of that, but we are also going to talk a lot. But up until now, I've shared 3 songs with you from the Sweet Side album, and I'm going to share them again with you one more time, and then this is pretty much the last time you'll hear them up until the album comes out. So we're going to play some of those. We're going to start with the first song that we shared called I Know, that was written and produced by my friend Amber Navrin, who's going to be joining us later for a conversation about George Floyd. But we'll start with that one, then we'll play a couple songs. We'll play another recording from, we're just gonna wing it today. And by I mean me, I'm feeling super emotional about the last week. So yeah, I'm gonna start with I Know, and I actually think that this is a great song to start with because the whole concept is, on a bigger spectrum, the concept is like nobody can do anything on their own. You need to be successful and to be heard. Nobody can do anything on their own. And you guys will hear the song and maybe get that feeling. But yeah, just keep that in mind when we talk about all of the stuff later. This is a song called I Know, and you're just going to watch me as I sing along to it or whatever. Maybe we'll just hang here, but this is I Know, written and produced by Amber Navrin.
So you didn't think to ask about it? Some things never change. My hurricane with good intentions, nothing ever stands in your way. Playing the same game. I'm still fighting twice the battle. on their own. Oh, I know, I take this over being alone, being alone. I know, nobody makes it on their own, on their own. I know, I'm grateful not to face it alone, alone. Why you always gotta ask about it? What's that ever changed? Acting like you got good intentions. Everybody's gotta do it your way.
Damn, that sounds like white people.
Playing the same game. I'm not fighting twice the battle. Still here, tired, insane. Truth is, it's nothing I can handle. I know, nobody makes it on their own, on their own. Oh, I know, I take this over being alone, alone. I know, nobody makes it on their own, on their own. Oh, I know, I never wanna do this alone. I know, nobody makes it on their own. I can make it on my own. I know.
That's called I Know, I Know. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
That's
I've
Cindy.
been in the comments a little bit, just kind of reiterating what Raquel said about having a conversation today. So you guys can speak up in the comments, tell us how you're feeling, what you're doing to speak out.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just start. I'm sure as many of you are, I hope many of you are aware of what's going on, if not all of you. On Monday, George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis at the hands of, or at the knee of a cop who placed his knee on the back of his neck while he was already detained in handcuffs and just pressed his knee into the back of his neck for almost 9 minutes, killed George Floyd, and we got it on tape. And there were 4 officers involved. Nobody stopped the officer who was actually on his knee. And I think that one of the things that needs to happen in the coming weeks or months is that all 4 of these officers need to be charged with murder and sentenced. Not
No
just
question.
charged and not let off, like charged and sentenced. You are going to jail for the rest of your life. You murdered somebody. So, sorry if we get emotional, or me, I cry a lot. So, over the last 30 years, we haven't seen riots like the ones we saw last night since Rodney King, and it just goes to show how we haven't made a difference. We haven't done anything. We haven't done shit to change ourselves, to change our communities, to change our perspectives. And it's so frustrating. And I think this might be the first time. This might be the very first time that white people are finally like, oh, I get it now. Like, you should have gotten it way back when shit was already happening. But now, because it's like you cannot deny what happened in this video. Now you're waking up. Now you're paying attention. And now you're like, okay, I'm down to help. Like, that one was wrong. They were all wrong. But now that we have your attention and you're there wanting to support, we have ways for you guys to support with your money, with your self-empowerment, with trying to teach yourself things, with having hard conversations with your family, like what I just had to do. It's fucking hard. It's not easy to talk about these things with your family. It's uncomfortable, but those are the ones that are going to make the most difference. I feel like I have the TikTok fucking shit on my voice. Like, I'm just frustrated, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. I don't feel like singing today, but I will, because that brings me joy to play music and play music with my friends. But throughout this whole show, this is what it's going to be like, and I'm going to talk to you guys about uncomfortable shit. So if you guys have questions or comments or anything, I definitely want to talk with you guys. If you don't know, so let's start with ways that you can help. If you're just getting on board with what's going on, some of the ways that you can help. There are organizations bailing people out from all the protests that happened who are getting arrested for peacefully protesting. There are tons of videos of officers inciting violence and a ton of white people who are on the opposite side inciting violence, so that at the end of the day, all the media can say, see what the black people did? See how they rioted? They did this. No, they didn't. White people did this, and cops did this, and the government did this, and they incited all of this violence from black people. Black people have been asking nicely over and over and over and over again. They've been protesting peacefully over and over and over again, and the government and white people just keep saying, that's not the way to do it. No, that's not the right way to do it. No way is the right way to do it, because when you're protesting against the people that are telling you it's not the right way to do it. So it's never going to be right. It's never going to be what you want it to be. But black people have asked you and the white community over and over for years and years and generations to pay attention to racism. And I feel like finally it's starting to make a dent. We haven't made any kind of ripple. It's making a tiny little dent, and it's up to the white community and every other race, but specifically the white community, to be on the front lines. I'm going to play you guys a video later from a white woman on Facebook that had the perfect words for it. It's going to be a 12-minute video, but I really hope that you guys stay and watch it, because it struck me. I'm not white. You guys know I'm Mexican. My name is Rodriguez. Like, I'm straight up Mexican, but I look white, and I've benefited from white privilege my entire life, and so has my whole family. And I just feel like it's my responsibility to talk to you guys about this because of that fact. So I think I need to play a song so that I stop crying, and the more I talk about it, the more emotional I get. But this is what the show is about today. We are dedicating this to George Floyd and all of the other black lives lost to police brutality and to white supremacy. So we are picking our songs because a lot of you guys requested some of these over the week when I asked, but obviously our platform has changed, so I'm not going to do all of them. But we are going to start with an Amy Winehouse song called Love is a Losing Game. This one is for Serena Lindsay, who requested this.
For you, I was a flame. Love is a losing game. 5-story fire as you came. Love is a losing game. One I wish I never played. Oh, what a mess we've made. And now the final
That's Kyle Barnett on the guitar with the Swati shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, music
Welcome,
makes me
Kyle.
feel better.
Dude, honestly, music makes me feel so much better. And even just saying that, it's like I recognize that I have the privilege to be in this studio and be with my friends to be able to play music. And a lot of people don't have that privilege right now. And I'm feeling grateful. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being part of the fight towards racism in America. So in a little bit, I'm going to have my friend Amber join us for a call. And the reason I'm having Amber join us is because Amber is a huge advocate for Black Lives Matter, and she has so many resources for you. And so many people are encouraging you guys to do your own education, to search for your own resources and do all of this stuff. But if you can't find it in yourself to search on your own, you're fortunate to have someone like Amber in your life, because she puts it out there for you and lays it out and says, it basically makes you feel like, if I don't do this, even when it's this easy, then I'm part of the problem. If you are not fighting the problem, then you are the problem. No matter on what side of the spectrum of the problem you are on, you're on it. So if you're not helping us fight this battle, then we're basically fighting against you. And that is the biggest problem that we have right now, is not getting everyone on board to fight this battle. So I'm going to tell you about an experience that I had, just in case it relates to a way that you could possibly help even within your own family. And I hope she's watching, because I love her to death. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to put anyone on blast, but one of my 57 cousins reposted a video that I had about privilege, and it's a very interesting video. I hope that, oh, sorry, Kyle, I've just had this video on you the whole time. My bad. You looked cute, though. So this video basically starts with a group of young teenagers, all different races, and their PE coach, I don't know, one of their teachers, took them outside and said, line up, I'm going to go to the other side of the yard. Here's a $100 bill, and all of you kids are going to race to this $100 bill. Whoever gets it first gets to keep it. And he said, okay, now before I have you guys race, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. And the questions were things like, if you've never had to worry about where your next meal comes from, take 2 steps forward. If you've never had to worry about being able to buy a pair of shoes for you to literally just walk in, take 2 steps forward. If you're going to college on a scholarship and it had nothing to do with athletics, please take 2 steps forward. If blah, 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 and all of these scenarios, and by the end of all these questions, all of the black kids were on the very back line. Maybe a couple of them took 2 to 4 steps forward throughout this whole thing, but everybody in the front lines was all white. They were all privileged enough to have those questions relate to them, to the point where they were a step or 2 away from getting this $100 bill. And he's like, this is privilege. That is what privilege looks like in America. None of the things that any of us have done, Adam and I are both Hispanic. I'm Mexican. Sam is a white person. All of us have white privilege in here. And all of us have to recognize that none of the things that we've done in our lives have gotten us to that point. It's all the white privilege that we've gotten throughout our entire lives that have gotten us closer to that $100 bill. And then we look back at all the black people and say, like, oh, why don't you guys just come up here with us closer? Because they can't. They don't have that privilege like you do. And that video struck a nerve with me, so I posted it. And then my cousin reposted it, and she said, Brown Lives Matter. And she started to relate it to the Latinos, and I said, hey, prima, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing at all. I completely am there with you. But right now, in this moment, that does not matter. Black lives matter because they're the ones being persecuted right now. They're the ones being attacked. They're the ones literally being murdered right now. Latinos don't get murdered by cops nearly as much as black people do. I think it's about almost half. Half of what black people go through, it's like, that's the Latino number. And it's crazy to me that some people just don't see that, like, when people are saying Black Lives Matter, it doesn't mean anybody else's life doesn't matter. Someone put it into a good perspective about if you have a whole block of houses and one of those houses is on fire, you're not going to tell the fire department to spray all the goddamn houses. It's just that one house that's on fire. We're not saying all the other houses don't matter and that they shouldn't go up in flames. They're not up in flames. They're already fine. They're good to go. They're ready to be lived in. This one house is on fucking fire and it needs help. That's what Black Lives Matters is. It's not about anybody else needing help. None of us need help. We're good. We're white. We have a privilege that we have not earned. We're fine. It's the black people that need our help. And I saw a video that I'm going to play for you guys after we play a couple more songs from a white woman who spoke about how important it is, and most important, for the white people to be on the front lines of this battle. It is not up to the black community to fight this battle for them. That's like, it's like having the victim trying to be his own lawyer. That doesn't make sense. It needs to be the white people fighting against white supremacists in order for us to make a difference. Otherwise, it's just gonna be this roundabout bullshit year after year, decade after decade. So I encourage you guys to talk to your family. Like, I reached out to my cousin and I told her all these things, and we had a conversation about it. We didn't fight with each other. She was just like, I understand. And then she said that, you know, I talked about this all day with my friends yesterday, all of which are white. And I'm like, good, I'm glad you guys talked about it. Have any of them posted about anything? Have they contributed? And she said, no, all of my white friends feel uncomfortable posting because they feel like it's not their place to say anything. And that just like fucking hand to the forehead so hard, because I'm like, no, that is the exact opposite of what we want you guys to feel. We want the white people to say, no, this is our responsibility. It's our turn to fucking make moves. It's our responsibility to help the black community, because otherwise nothing's gonna change. And I'm sorry I keep talking so much. But yeah, if you guys have any comments or questions, let me know. We're gonna continue with some more music. This is a weird platform today, but I hope it's uncomfortable for you guys, and it's just as uncomfortable for me to talk with you guys about this, and I hate crying in front of people, but that's where we're at right now. So, another one of you guys requested some Corinne Bailey Rae. Rita Schuyler, we're gonna do a song called Closer for You. This is a Corinne Bailey Rae tune.
You've had enough. I want you to journey with me. want you to journey with me, explore all the hidden seas. Just a bit of tension, we got to move in the same direction. Oh, 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 your love's so good. I wanna show you, baby. Don't make me responsible for some shit that you can't find. And ooh, your loving is so good. I wanna show you, baby, closer. I want it intimate. I want it be right here. Said I wanna be experienced. Oh, generous. Lay down what's impeding you. I wanna get close to you.
That's a Corinne Bailey Rae tune. So, yeah. One of the other important things that I think is really necessary for us to do, and I just told Sam this. So, for those of you who know Sam, he's from Wisconsin. Obviously, you know him. If you don't know him, he's from Wisconsin. And I told Sam this morning, hey, so what's up with all your high school friends? What's up with all of our Wisconsin fans? Like, are they aware? 1. 2, are they on our side? And 3, are they helping? And I think that it's important for people like me and Sam who have those kinds of friends to reach out and be like, hey man, so just checking in. Have you heard about what's going on with George Floyd? Like, what are your thoughts? Just in case you want to help fight the battle as a white person, here are some resources for you. And I like, out of my rage this morning, I said, where the fuck is the NFL? Where the fuck are the Packers? Where's Aaron Rodgers? Where the fuck is it? I'm not going to watch the fucking Packers if they don't help with this shit. Like, and part of me was like, damn, I feel that way. Like, I'm mad at them for not saying anything yet. Like, the NFL has spoken out about it, but specifically, like, Aaron Rodgers, who is a leader, who is in a predominantly white state, but with majority black members on his team.
Yeah.
How does that, like, Rodgers, where are you? I'm calling you out. Like, somebody fucking tell Aaron Rodgers he needs to stand up for his fucking team members. And every other team in the NFL with a captain like that who is not speaking out on behalf of their black team members, fuck you. Sorry. Anyway, I see Nigel Hall is in here. Nigel, we love you. We support you. I understand your fury and your rage, and I don't blame you, man. All right, so I'm going to play a video for you guys. It's a 12-minute video, so if you need to go to the bathroom, you've got about 20 seconds. This video is important because it's an example of a white woman on how you can still be happy in your whiteness. I'm not saying being white is bad or anything. I'm saying that when you are white, you have a responsibility. Like, this woman finally understood, and she talks about how she was just like blinded in the beginning of all this, and in a lot of these instances she didn't understand. She didn't get it because she couldn't relate. And then she was finally like, damn, I fucking get it now, and now I'm on the front lines here. Like, this is how I'm going to help. And she talks about why it's her responsibility to help as a white woman. And I keep saying that over and over and over again because I know that there are a bunch of white people watching this who are still not going to even post anything on their Instagrams or even on your Instagram story. Like, just bringing awareness to it and letting other people know that you are aware means that they can count on you. So we're going to watch a video for just a second. Sorry, Kyle. I know you wanted to play a lot more music today, but we're talking some shit here today. So I'm gonna bring up this video real quick. On Instagram, you're not gonna be able to hear or to see this woman, but you will definitely be able to hear what she is saying. Give me 1 second. Sam, you talk to them real quick.
If you're white, you gotta speak out. That's about the that's about it. And yeah, I don't know. It's also hard to speak out. Sometimes I just don't know what to say. I'm overwhelmed with everything that's going on. But yeah, I'm definitely thankful that I've got some really amazing friends that that are helping me out and giving us the resources to go do some right.
Yeah. All right. I've got this video up, and we're going to play it from the beginning. So I appreciate you guys committing to watching this because this is important. It's really important that we force ourselves to gain perspective. So this is just a woman named Melissa, I think. I don't know her. I ran across this video, and I think it's important for us to all see. So here we go.
Hey guys, I know this is not going to be, you know, anything particularly original. Many of you have probably, you know, thought this, seen this, heard this, or whatever. I'm not on the news and normal news feeds and all that other kind of stuff, like, at all. So I had just heard yesterday while I was doing a welcome call with one of our intercessors about the whole incident with George Floyd. And I am not one to like jump on conspiracy theories, and I don't get into all this identity politics and all that other kind of stuff, and I will not jump into something until, you know, I have facts first. And I will, you know, especially when it comes to this kind of stuff where law enforcement is involved and whatnot, you know, my husband was in law enforcement for 25 years. And so I will say with that, on that note, you know, everybody absolutely loved my husband. My husband is an amazing and honorable man and such a lover of people, but you know, there was definitely crap that goes on police departments. I will say that. However, in relation to this situation, and oftentimes in the past, we have seen situations where, you know, the media puts a twist on things, right? And they, you know, didn't show that, you know, the man pulled a gun or had just, you know, beat his, you know, wife to a pulp or, you know, whatever, all kinds of situations. They just show, you know, the end result. And I'm not trying to justify or make excuses or anything like that. I'm just saying that when stuff like this comes out, I hold off until I get the context of the situation. Not that anything really justifies someone losing their life, but there is such a thing that they call out there, you know, death by cop, in the sense that there's people that are half-cocked, they're on drugs, they're whatever, and they will purposely pull a weapon on police officers, you know, and force the situation where they end up getting shot and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, a lot of times there's a history of suicide attempts and crazy stuff. So, knowing that, I typically hold off before I say something. This situation, however, has me so bothered, so pissed off. I am trying to not take judgment in my own hands. I am trying to hold on to my religion, as they say, because there's that justice piece that I carry. I have a really strong justice bent. Always have, probably always will. You know, as a kid, used to get in fights constantly, defending the underdog. Never got in a fight like for myself. Always defending. So I have a really strong justice bent. And so watching the video yesterday, I don't give a rat's behind what transpired prior to this cop holding this man down. It does not matter, simply because the fact of what I saw was this man was fully detained and no longer struggling. He was handcuffed, belly down on the freaking ground, and yelling, well, not yelling, I'm sorry, barely breathing, right? Pleading for his life that he couldn't breathe. This police officer, who is trained in, self-defense measures, trained in the ability to detain someone, knew that this person was no longer a threat, that the force that was being used was no longer necessary. I am so livid. I don't care. I'm so watching my words, you guys. I'm so trying to be careful with my words right now, because I obviously want to respect and honor my audience as well. I don't care that he got fired. Who cares that these police officers got fired? I want the gosh darn trial to start, because this was straight up, no questions asked, murder. This was murder. This was a lynching of sorts. Whether it was racially motivated or not, I don't care. I don't care if the man was black, if he was Oriental, if he was Hispanic, or he was another white man. What happened was straight up murder. Now, with that said, I am not going to detract from the fact that this was a black man. I don't get the racism thing. So I have been one of the people that have been like, no, this can't be racially motivated. And I hear the black community with, the Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, and I hear them in saying there's so much racism going on. And for people like me that don't have a grid for racism, I don't see it because I don't relate to it. So first of all, forgive me for not having that lens. I don't ever want to have that lens. But I don't also want to detract from my brothers and sisters that are going through hell. And if that is the case, it is going to take every freaking white American to stand up and make a difference. To stand up and say, oh, hell no, not in my country, not on my watch, not in my lifetime. This is going to stop. If this is actually what's going on, that we have black Americans that are literally afraid of law enforcement because this kind of crap is going on, it's not the black Americans' responsibility to stand up and try and change that. If it is rooted in racism, if it is rooted in any kind of white supremacist crap, it is our job to stand up. I will tell you that I have been one that's like, okay, so when there's a Muslim terrorist attack, the Muslims need to stand up and reject those people out of their religion, right? The peaceful, loving, wonderful Muslims need to go, oh, hell no, you're not Muslim. Get the hell out. I'm saying the same thing for white people. We need to stand up and look at whoever this is, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's whatever organization of white people, and say, oh, hell no, you are not American. Oh, hell no, you don't embody what we stand for. And oh, hell no, you're not welcome in this country, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how to fix this problem other than every white American using their peer pressure and saying, this is not okay. And I will say the only thing I can think of that might change this within law enforcement is there needs to be, special circumstances that if a law enforcement officer unduly causes the death of no matter what color the person is, they need to be prosecuted worse. because they're supposed to have a standard that is far and above beyond any of us, right? They're law enforcement. They should be elevated to a much higher standard and bar than the rest of us. Therefore, in my opinion, they should be prosecuted at a higher standard. In my opinion only, and you guys can disagree, you can say I'm half-cocked, I don't really care. My opinion, those officers need to face the death penalty, period. I don't know what else would be worse. And I don't mean the death penalty in some cushy prison either. I'm pissed off. If this is what's going on in our country, it's your responsibility and it's my responsibility to put a stop to it. It's not the victim's responsibility to put a stop to it. It's just like this freaking Me Too movement. People need to step in and stop the perpetrators. Don't make the victims have to put a stop to it and be victimized further. The Black community should not be leading this. This needs to be led by the white community. We need to put a stop to this. I'm certainly hoping that there is something on the agenda at the federal government level that's going, okay, enough is a freaking enough. I totally believe in backing the blue. I totally believe in law enforcement and the good men and women that are called to be civil servants that have a heart for humanity and community in general. Totally back them. But those that shouldn't be, those that are tainted, those that have their own agendas, those that are power hungry, those that have polluted the system, they need to be dealt with, and they need to be dealt with harshly. My opinion, I should probably get off my rant. I'm just so infuriated. So infuriated. I'm partially infuriated at the white people for us not doing something already. And I'm one of them. I'm one of them because I didn't get it. I didn't have the lens to see it. I'm like, racism? What racism? I'm not racist against anybody. But you know what? There's crap out there. There's pollution out there. I do have to remind myself that we do not fight against flesh and blood. That we fight against powers and rulers and principalities of darkness. And they're the ones that are pulling the strings of the idiots that are being their puppets. So, with that said, the prophetic and intercession community sure as hell better stand up in a greater stance to fight this where it needs to be fought. So we're not just constantly chasing around picking the fruit, but we actually cut off the head. We cut off the root of this tree that's producing racism in our country. It is long past time to stop it. America is supposed to be a city on a hill. America is supposed to be a light to the rest of the world. And I tell you what, where the hell's the light? Where's the light? Who's going to stand up and start a movement? What white community is going to stand up and start a movement that protects our brothers and sisters? We have this huge movement that has to do with human trafficking and slavery, as you know, as far as trafficking goes. We need a movement bigger than that. We need a movement bigger than that. I'll be taking this to our leadership and see what gets birthed from there. If you're going to birth a movement, reach out. Let's join arms, because this has to stop. This has to stop. Love you guys.
Okay, so thank you guys for sticking around to watch that whole thing. I know it was long, but I think that that's one of the really important conversations that we need to have with our white friends. A lot of them feel like the way my cousin's friends felt. They think that it's not their place and that it has nothing to do with them and it's not their business. Like, oh, I'm not black, I can't share this. That's just hurting
opposite.
this.
Yeah. Like she said, the white community needs to be leading this fight. And, yeah, I mean, straight up.
So I'm going to have Amber join us right now for a call. And again, if you're just joining, I I had Amber join us because Amber is super knowledgeable, and I trust her more than most people with all of these resources and information. Um, we don't have to talk long. Amber, I just wanted to see. Well, first, hi. Thank you for being here with us. I know this is a weird show and weird topic of conversation, but
Great show. It's a great show. You're killing it.
um, so you and I have talked a lot about this, and I feel like I am able to cheat a little bit and get my resources from you because you just have like all of them. I guess in the remaining bits of the show, can you let people know like the best ways that they can help, starting with like defunding the police in every major city or just everywhere?
Yeah, the thing you should do first is follow the activist account. I get all of my information from other activists. And there's so many people out there with resources and lists. And even if you just Google like books about anti-racism or how to be a good ally, like people have already put all of this information together, and I'm just like trying to share it so that it's easily accessible, but it's not my information. So when people are posting all of these images on Instagram, go to that account and follow them because they're always posting resources and advice and like so much good perspective. Another organization to follow is Showing Up for Racial Justice. It's for white people who want to be anti-racist, and it's a lot of training on how to have conversations, how to educate yourself, because we need to educate our friends and family, but first we need to get educated, which means putting in work. You know, like there's so much that I don't know about the history, and we need to learn what the counter arguments are, learn what the truth is about those arguments, and be ready to have those conversations, because you know there's so much bullshit in the media, like you've been talking about this whole show, and if we don't have the information ready in our heads to refute it, you know, how are we going to have those conversations?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's funny to me that I see like how many people actually click on the posts that I'm sharing, and I'm disappointed. You guys are letting these slide by without actually making an effort to just, even if it's a paragraph, just read it. Like, how hard is that? Like, don't just click over the story and pass it up. I don't care if you do that to my music. This is way more important. Like, you guys have to read these things. You guys have to force yourself to watch these videos that are informative. And it's like, some of, like, people like you are doing the work for us, and all we have to do is just say yes and, like, open our minds to it and, like, literally just do a couple clicks. You're not even having to research anything. Like, people like Amber and people like the women and men that she follows, like all of these activists that she follows, they do the work for you. All you have to do is receive it. Like, it's crazy to me that people aren't doing this. Like, even just something as simple as signing a petition. Like, just fucking swipe up and sign it. It takes 10 seconds. Like, Jesus.
There's something going on in LA right now that's super important. The city council had a budget that they were voting on a few weeks ago, and it had 54% of the budget going to police.
Was it like $3 billion or something?
$1 billion, yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and they didn't pass it, but they have to get a new budget to the mayor tomorrow. So really today, we should be calling, emailing, tagging, hashtagging, just like, even though it's like last minute. I mean, even if we tell them after June 1st, we still need to be telling them. But today, it's actually really important to take that action. And if you can find their contact information on the city council website, but I also have it in my bio. If you want to click the link there, it's all there, the emails, there's a script, all that stuff. And if you don't like making calls, their offices are closed today. So call and leave a voicemail. Like, you know, it's like today is kind of the last day to really, really be effective. And who knows, maybe there'll be another vote and we'll be able to keep telling people about that. But a useful website is peoplesbudgetla.com.
Okay.
And there's some Instagram accounts that have been educating people about this. People's City Council is one of them. BLM Los Angeles is one of them. Streetwatch LA is one of them. So follow all of those accounts because they'll keep you posted about all the stuff that's going on in City Council. And then there's information online about how to speak up in other cities, like in Minneapolis, and because the same fights are happening all over the country
Yep.
for defunding the police.
Yeah, we'll give you guys the link. Like, I will post Amber's Instagram on there. I will send you guys the actual link from her Instagram page. And like, it's Sunday. None of you are working today. You're quarantined. We have the time. We have the effort and energy to be able to do this. And especially if you're in Los Angeles, like, we really cannot afford to have $3 billion go to the police department and the police force when less than $1 billion is going to like multiple things that are actually going to help our communities. Like, homeless people aren't getting any of that money. Like,
I think if you look at the numbers that are going towards solving the homelessness, houselessness problem that's in Los Angeles versus what's going to the police, it's insane how little is given to the people who actually need it. Yeah.
One of the things that I just saw about how people are upset about the looting last night, and the protest started 100% peacefully. It was all the little idiots that wanted to go in afterwards and steal shoes and make money off of them and like, oh, fuck the police. Like, you guys aren't making a difference. You're part of the problem. But someone posted like, you know, the biggest looting I've seen is over the last couple months where $500 million was given to corporations, and all Americans are getting $1,200 to decide whether to pay rent or buy groceries. Like, yeah, where are all those major companies now? Where are all of them helping now? Have they made donations? Has Target made a donation? Has AutoZone made a donation? Have they spoken out about it? That's why people are fucking your stores up, because you don't care. We don't care about your store if you guys don't care about us. Instagram's running out of time, so I'm going to say bye to them. But I do want to play a couple more songs and just end on a happier note. We will post these resources for you guys. Amber has so much information for you guys, and she's got one more thing to say.
Sorry.
No, I look like I'm pointing, but I'm just ending Instagram. I'm not actually ending it.
Okay. I was at the protest yesterday, and it started at noon, and there were like over 10,000 people there, and it was peaceful, it was beautiful, and we marched all the way to Rodeo Drive. And the saddest thing is that no one is covering that. It was so beautiful. And messages from the speakers were beautiful. And instead, like, the police were the ones who started the violence. They were shooting rubber bullets into a crowd that was entirely peaceful. It was insane.
There's so many videos proving that too.
It's so sad, yeah.
Well, thank you again, Amber. I love you so much.
I love you,
You're
Rocco.
the best. We'll continue talking about this and informing our friends on how to be better. Love you. All right, so I'm going to play some tunes for you guys that we've gone over, just 2 songs, and they're the 2 songs that I shared with you guys over the last 2 weeks. This is going to be Read the Room and You, and while we play those, you won't see anything. It'll just be the studio. But after that, we're going to play like maybe 2 more live songs with you. I have Kyle here to play with us, and he's ready to play some music, and I want to honor that, because music is what we do, and that's how we spread love and happiness and awareness. So listen to these 2 songs. This is called Read the Room, and the next one will be You.
You act so different in a room full of people. You lose attention when you're talking too fast. Everybody doesn't get you, even though I see they try to. Round and round and round you go. I wanna hear what you say, but don't you know you gotta just read the room. I'm tired of reading you. I'm the only one that sees right through. No one else will tell you. Look around and see who you are really talking to. Been a while since you listened. Baby, won't you listen? Now just the two of us in our own situation. You keep on thinking that I'm tuning you out, but I'm really trying to focus. Cause what you don't know is you gotta try to slow it down. Be here with me. Oh, I don't wanna work so hard for you to see. Can't you just read the room? I'm tired of reading you. I'm the only one that sees right through. No one else will tell you. Look around and see who you are really talking to. Been a while since you listened. Baby, won't you listen? Yeah. Look around and see who you are really talking to. Been a while since you listened. Baby, won't you listen? Yeah. Let me talk to you for a minute. Baby, all you gotta do is listen. Let me talk to you for a minute. Baby, all you gotta do is let me talk, let me talk, let me talk. Let me talk, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you for a minute. Baby, all you gotta do is listen, 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 listen.
That's Read the Room. That's about parallel compression. If you guys heard the story, you'll know. This next one is called You. Produced by Bubs, aka Gabe Steiner.
We haven't caught up in a minute.
This is actually
We've
Cal
been busy
Barker.
taking care of us. On the same page from the beginning. You and I knew just what the two of us would be. But let's talk about it anyway. Let's go for a drink and hang out. We've got so much to celebrate, but so much to figure out. They think we need the fairy tale, and sometimes I might think so too, but none of that is you. You. Seems like everybody's having a baby. They're asking why we don't even try. Another invitation to a wedding. We'll take our time. It's not like us to fall in line. 'Cause we've never been traditional. We got a special kind of love, and that shit is unconditional. You know, the kind that
called You, produced by my homie Bubs, aka Gabe Steiner. We actually had Kyle Barnett play guitar on that, and Kyle Barnett is here with us today. We're gonna just do 2 more songs. Within all of this, I completely forgot to remind you guys about like my own things. Today is the last day that if you buy my Nobody Else merch, today is the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month, and the last day that I'll be donating portion of the proceeds from this merch. I feel like we're all having some mental health issues right now, just trying to stay positive and all of this shit. But yeah, if you guys want to support the Los Angeles Department of Mental Health, please buy some Nobody Else merch. You guys can find the link on my website, raquel.la. I have links everywhere for this merch. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys being part of this conversation. It makes me feel good that my audience is in the know and on the right side of bringing justice to the Black community in this country. With that said, we're going to end with a couple songs. This is a cover that we did for an EP called Sunday's Best. So we're going to play a song called Ooh Baby Baby.
But in the game I lost you. What a price to pay. Hey, I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Mistakes I know I've made for you, but I'm only human. You made mistakes too. I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. I'm just about at the end of my road, but I can't stop trying. I can't give up hope, 'cause I feel that someday I'll hold you near and whisper, I still love you until the day is here. I'm crying. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby. Ooh, baby, baby.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. We've got one more song for you. Thanks, Tom Katie. We're going to stay positive. Just a reminder to you guys, if you see some injustice happening to a Black person near you, I advise that you step in the safest way and the kindest way possible. And just a reminder to all of you white people who like to call the cops. Don't call the cops. Just don't call the cops unless your life is actually in danger. And even then, think about it. There are 7 things you can do before you call the cops, and I will repost that if I have to. But calling the cops is not the answer to solve a problem, especially when a black person is involved in the incident. So we're going to play that song right now. We're going to do a live version of Nobody Else with just the 4 of us. We appreciate you guys tuning in, being aware, being conscious, being kind. If you want to support, please, please, please go and check out my website, raquel.la. You can find the Nobody Else merch on there, and today is the last day to buy it. You can buy it past today, but today is the last day that the portion of the proceeds will go to the Los Angeles Department of Mental Health. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys being here. This is Nobody Else, a live version that none of us have ever played with each other before.
You're going through it lately, feeling the pressure now. You wanna stop being lazy, but you just don't know how. Don't let the hard times take control. Can't let them in your way, because next time you never go hand in hand. So don't get caught in that game. So you gotta learn to deal with the valleys. The hills will take care of themselves. 'Cause in this life you've got one thing. It's you and nobody else. Nobody else. Nobody else.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to Adam Bravo, Kyle Barnett, Sammy B. We'll see you guys at 7 o'clock. Hopefully you'll tune in. We'll do some more talking, more educating, more singing, all that. Thank you guys. We'll see you.